Hey guys, I'm back again. Same day, same clothes, same makeup, same hair. Um, but a little bit more sick. So bear with me. But my eyes start like watering and stuff. It's just like congestion right here. So I kind of sound like a goblin. So that sucks. I filmed my haul a few hours ago and it's uploading right now. And now I wanted to talk to you guys about Is Everybody Hanging Out Without Me? Everyone. Can't even get the title right. And Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. I love the American adaptation of The Office. Like, it is seriously my favorite show. I make references to that show probably more than 5 times a day on a good day. I absolutely love it. I've seen every episode. Most of them I've seen like 12 times or more. It's what I do. I put it on in the background when I'm doing other things, when I'm cleaning the house, when I'm doing laundry, when I'm surfing the web. I always have The Office on. So I was really excited to read this. I've also seen her new show, The Mindy Project, and I like that one as well. And I do think I have a pretty good grasp of kind of who Mindy is a little bit. I don't really want to be mean, but she's kind of like ditzy and really, really, really girly and loves like celebrity gossip and stuff. And I think now I know that's part of who she is. And you can really tell in both of the characters I've seen her play on The Office and The Mindy Project. Gosh, dogs. Sorry. So I picked this book up quite a while ago at Barnes & Noble. I am a big fan of memoirs, and I've read some really good ones. And I noticed a few things that were a little different about this one, but I'm just going to tell you right now, I didn't really like it as much as a lot of memoirs that I've read. But it was a little different than most of them. It's kind of like broken into parts, but not really, and lists, but not really, and essays, but not really. So I want to read you one of these little question and answer things. It's the very first one on page number 1 of the book, and it's answering the question, what is this book about? She says, in this book I write a lot about romance, female friendships, unfair situations that now seem funny in retrospect, unfair situations that I still don't think are funny, Hollywood, heartache, and my childhood. Just that really hardcore masculine stuff men love to read about. I wrote this book in a way that reflects how I think. Sometimes it's an essay or story, and sometimes it's a pleist, which is a piece with a listy quality, a term I've just made up. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's, like I said, not chapters. Some of them kind of are. There's pictures interspersed. There's not like a section in the middle with color pictures, which those of you who read memoirs might be familiar with. They're actually printed in black and white in the text. I mean, it's interesting. She's had a pretty interesting life, but she is very, very confident, almost to the point of arrogance, and it gets a little bit annoying, especially when it comes to her career, and she's constantly throwing around the fact that she went to Dartmouth, even though she doesn't really recount her time there at all. All she pretty much says about it is that she got her best friends, that she moved with them to New York, and there was nothing to do in the town that it was in, so she just had a lot of really nerdy hobbies and stuff. She doesn't really, I don't know, I guess it's not really a memoir to me, I don't think. I mean, she goes into her past a little bit. Basically, she tells an anecdote about a boy that used to make fun of her when she was a kid. She talked about the fluctuation of her weight. She talked about moving to New York, and I think that was pretty much the majority of the book, actually. Like, it just seems like the thing that had the most detail and like took up the most span of time within one subject was when she moved to New York, and her friend Brenda, who I think made a cameo in The Office in season 2, Booze Cruise, she kind of talked about getting a job and trying to focus on succeeding in comedy and stuff. At the beginning, she says that she really worked hard to get where she is, but she doesn't really show that in the book very much, I don't think. She basically just says what happened to her, and I don't know. Like, basically she says I finally had to get a job, so I started babysitting these kids, which was awesome because all I did was watch comedy after they went to bed and eat their snacks and stuff. And then every once in a while, me and Brenda would start writing a comedy thing, and we had like 1 hour a day to do it, but usually we just watched TV and laughed about comedy. And then all of a sudden, this one thing that we actually ended up writing took off, had a lot of success, and we had an agent, and then I ended up writing for The Office in LA. I don't think she really conveyed what she was meaning to convey. I don't know. I didn't just get this job because I was in the right place at the right time, or my parents were producers or writers, or really got my foot in the door. I did it by going to Dartmouth and getting an education and never having any boyfriends and being kind of chubby. She also talks about her little guest writing stint on Saturday Night Live, and basically goes on to say that I basically embarrassed myself there, and I only collaborated on one thing that made the air, and I was a total loner, and I am pretty humiliated by the entire experience. So I'm not really sure what she means by... Basically, this is a girl talk book. If you want to get some girl talk with Mindy, then go ahead and buy this and read it. If you want to actually figure out how to become a comedy writer in TV, which I don't, but if you did, you probably wouldn't want to get this anyways. You probably already know more than she actually tells you about it in here. It is pretty funny. There are some bits of comedy, but a lot of times it just seems like she's trying too hard. She makes a lot of funny lists, like at the beginning, here are some alternate titles that I wanted to name my book that the publishers didn't think was a good idea. Types of women in romantic comedies who are not real. Franchises I would like to reboot. The difference between men and boys. Somewhere in Hollywood, someone is pitching this movie. My favorite 11 moments in comedy. And then she also has little anecdotes about things that she thought were funny in her life, like the day I stopped eating cupcakes, or men take so long to tie their shoes. In defense of chest hair, someone explained one night stands to me, which actually turned into an episode of the Mindy Project. You almost have to read it with her voice in your head, because she literally writes it like she talks. So it's way funnier if you just like picture her saying it in your head. Not as funny as you just read it on the page. So that'll help those of you who are planning on reading it. I know a lot of people have already read this, so I'm kind of curious if you guys liked it or what you thought of it. I do kind of like the format. I just think I'm a little bit confused about this book. I think that it could have been more organized and more structured and stuff. Probably a lot of the stuff that was getting to me could have been fixed in a lot more thorough editing and stuff, but that's kind of sad that this wasn't a very, very upbeat and happy review. It seems like everybody with quotes on the back and the front and everything really liked it, and I'm sure a lot of people did really like it, and I just didn't as much. Sorry. If you loved it and you absolutely don't understand what I'm talking about, let's have a discussion about it. Leave me a comment, and I'll consider your points. And I don't know, maybe I just read it at the wrong time, you know? Sometimes that happens. Timing is very important when you're reading books. I think I'm probably gonna try and figure out what to read next and curl up in my bed and just read it until I fall asleep.